So this is a PS4 first gen that is having issues displaying video through its HDMI port. And so this one has, after I disassembled it, I'll show you real quick. Somebody has already been through it. And you can see it's pretty damaged. I don't know if I can get it in camera. Where's that here? You can see it's damaged there as well. So, customer requests that I remove the HDMI port, put a new one, and hopefully all is better. So we're going to start off first by adding a little flux. Make sure I can see this in camera. A little flux to the foreground points. It's pretty common with PS4 and also Xbox One with these ground points being very stubborn. The whole board reacts very quickly and gets very hot and disperses the heat very, very quickly. So you want to try to flow a little bit of solder into it just to get it to free up a little bit easier. So you're going to start by flowing a little bit onto it. And whether you get a lot or very little, it's not a big deal. You just want to try to get a little bit at least. And I just very, very lightly coated that. So I have my HDMI port ready. Right here. And what I'm going to do first is now turn on my hot air station. I'm going to go ahead and set this to 350 Celsius. I'm not going to use any additional adapters to my hot air. But you can see it's just the flat large tip. I'm also use some like angle cut type pliers so I can quickly grab the bottom of the metal shielding of the HDMI port and pull it out gently and have a good grip. So this is going to take a while, but you want to heat up all four of those points quite a bit. The flux is on there just to help lower the temperature at which the solder will flow. This shouldn't take terribly long. I do have it at a high setting, but you don't want to rush it either. You don't want to rip any additional pads below because there's 19 very, very small and delicate pads on the opposing end. Just gonna gently grip on the bottom of the HDMI port. And the reason why I have no additional adapter on my hot air is just so I cover a larger amount in terms of getting the heat on the board. Go ahead and turn up the air pressure just a little bit more. At this point, it's starting to free up a little bit. It's almost there. But once again, you want to go very, very gently. And you do want to take your time. And there's the HDMI port removed. Since it was in pretty poor condition, I don't know if any pads were lifted on the other side, so if not, this will go easy. And it looks like all the pads are still there, so that's good. So with our solder and our soldering iron, we're going to want to add a little bit of flux to these little pads right there. If they bridge, you can just keep working it until it's let's see where it's, make sure it's in shot here. You can always just keep working it until they're all back together where they should be. You want to make sure there's plenty on there, but it is also hard to notice if there's plenty considering the pads are roughly at the size of a 34 gauge wire. Now that we've added some flux, we've added that in, we can put in our new port. So once again, we have to take our time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our HDMI port and I'm going to hold it. See if I can show you this in camera. I'm going to hold it so I have my pliers on the bottom. You have to hold firmly, otherwise if you lose your grip, you might end up damaging the actual contact points. Grab your hot air station again. You're going to want to heat it up for at least a minute. You want to make sure that the 4 ground points that we're heating up here are plenty hot and ready to be ready to be received by this HDMI port. Real quick, I'm just gonna add a little bit more flux. It's okay if it's getting hot like that. This is a regular petroleum-based flux, not your typical no clean that a lot of people like to use, the clear stuff. One second. One second here. One second, to make this easier, I'm going to add a little bit of solder right here. It's going to make it a little bit easier for it to flow in. This one more time. Because usually by adding a little extra solder in there, makes it a little bit easier to have it flow in. Solder will kind of flow into the other side just a bit. HDMI port is in. Let's check real quick to make sure that those pads are aligned. pads do appear to be aligned. Just checking to make sure that the port is flush. The port could be a little bit pushed in more. So I'm gonna go reheat it. See if I can get it to be a little bit more flush. Make sure that's in camera. As you're reheating it, once you see that the solder joints start to get a little bit shinier, you know it's about ready. Let's double check again. That does look much better. See if I can show you. So now what I like to do, where is it? You can see it. So you'll add a little bit of flux to the area that you're about to work on. In your soldering iron. And you want to kind of just use a chisel tip if you can, so you can quickly just kind of press down on the points. Double checking real quick. And it looks like all the pads are soldered down properly. Now, assuming that the port was the complete issue, then this should theoretically be displaying video. But if it's not, another thing that could be a problem, let me see if I can get it in camera here, is going to be this HDMI encoder that's underneath here. It should be a Panasonic chip. It's usually that or a few other components that go along with the HDMI circuit. But as you can see now, I will clean that up. But the HDMI port, where is it? It's now installed. It's a fresh one, and you can see all the pins are good. This is a brand new one. And that's it. That's how you replace an HDMI port on your first generation PS4. This same method still applies to the other PS4s as well as like an Xbox One. So hopefully this was helpful, and thank you for watching.